This is the 192nd Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and it appears in Tractate Shavuot, page 17a, according to the book by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin, who wrote a book called Taiku, compiling all the Taikus. And Shavuot 17a with the words Boy Rav Ashi. Boy Rav Ashi raises a dilemma. Nazir bekever boy shehiyah l'malchus tzarich. Bifnim gemir shehiyah b'chus da gemir shehiyah dilma b'oines gemir shehiyah lo shna bifnim v'lo shna b'chutz teiku. Rav Ashi raises a dilemma. If a Nazirite who is prohibited from contracting impurity imparted by a corpse found himself alongside a grave, is tarrying there a necessary condition for him to incur lashes, or is tarrying not necessary? And is he liable immediately? Okay, so we had a similar situation about tarrying, waiting, the amount of time, let's say, to bow down, and someone was in the courtyard of the temple and they somehow became impure. So there was a question of how long do they wait until they are liable to receive lashes. That was the question previously, and it's carrying on to this idea that a Nazirite is also not allowed to become impure, but it says that he found himself alongside a grave. Maybe he wasn't aware or something, he didn't know where he was walking. So does he have to wait there? And will that make him liable to receive whips? Or is it not necessary to wait? Maybe he gets them right away. It is learned as a tradition that tarrying is necessary within the temple, but not learned as a tradition that tarrying is necessary outside the temple, and the Nazirite is liable immediately. I see an inherent problem with this. In order to get makos, or any type of punishment, a person needs to be warned. And you cannot whip somebody unless you warn them. So, if they warned him, then he could leave. So he wouldn't be chayav immediately. So I see an inherent problem with this, logically. But, let's continue. Or perhaps it is learned as a tradition that waiting is necessary for liability for impurity contracted in circumstances beyond one's control, and it is no different whether the impurity was contracted within the temple. And it is no different whether it was contracted outside the temple. The Gemara concludes that this dilemma shall stand unresolved until the Messiah comes. And, as the tradition has it, Elijah the prophet will give the answers. And I still see an issue, technically, with this being a question. Because a person can't be liable right away, anytime, because they need to get warned. And if they get warned, maybe they mean if he's warned and he doesn't listen, it's not right away still. Maybe it's relatively right away. Okay, listen, these are cases that scarcely will happen, have never probably happened, and scarcely and probably will never happen. So the question is what's the value of studying these cases? And I think it's just it's a mental exercise. I think it's also it's like studying Torah in general. So anyway, that's it.